Welcome to Bite Size Rando. My name is Didier Kirby. Today, we're going to be taking a look at how to route through Swamp Palace, particularly in the case that you're using the technique known as the Specky Clip. So if you're not familiar, Specky Clip is a technique that will allow you to clip past this railing here. An easy way to set it up is to go to this bottom right corner here, lay a bomb facing downward, and then walk into the explosion of the bomb while facing to the left. Then you hookshot to the statue, and that lets you clip through this rail. So if you're playing in a setting where the Specky Clip is legal and not banned, Specky Clip will allow you to bypass the hammer requirement for Swamp Palace, since you no longer have to go and hit the hammer pegs in that room above there. But it also means you don't have to open this small key door, which means you potentially can save a small key. Now, past the front of Swamp Palace, there's kind of 3 different small keys that will be relevant to our discussion today. First one is in the room directly above the Specky Clip room. It's underneath this pot right here. And if you are not using the Specky Clip, you would be forced to use this key in that small door right here. The second small key we're going to talk about is in the main hub of Swamp Palace. You're going to need the hookshot in order to get here. And you're going to lift this pot and you're going to get the small key here. And finally, the third small key is going to be in the left side of Swamp Palace. So this one is kind of out of the way, so you should only deal with the small key if you are planning on checking the chests on the left side of Swamp Palace for sure, because it is out of the way. But there is a small key here, and this is in the room where you with the lever to fill this with water. Now, as I mentioned before, if you're doing the Specky Clip, you don't have to open this small key door, which means you can potentially save a small key. This means we don't have to collect all the small keys that we normally would. Let's take a look at how long it takes to get each of these small keys so we can decide which ones are the fastest to get and which ones we should skip in which scenarios. Alright, so I have a ton of different timing comparison videos to show. So what we're going to be doing here is on the left side, we're going to be just walking straight forward without getting the key. And on the right side, we're going to get the key and then go to the same place. So we're basically going to be seeing what the difference is in time between getting the key and not getting the key. Now on the bottom half, I have the same comparison, but with boots. I mostly am including this for the sake of completeness. I will say for all of these comparisons, having the boots doesn't actually make that much of a difference. So it's mostly just shown here for completeness sake. Right, so you can see on the left, we're just going to walk up here and up the stairs, and on the right side, we're going to go down this hallway and get this key. So from this set of video comparisons, for example, you can see that getting this first key in the room above Specky Clip will cost you about 7.5 seconds without boots, and then with the boots, it's about 6.5 seconds. Okay. All right, and this is going to be the same thing, but for the second key, the one in the main hub. On the left, you're going to see we're going to just go straight down to this room, and on the right-hand side, we're going to hookshot for the key and collect it, and then go down. And you can see that this key takes is a little bit faster to collect. So this one will only take you 4 seconds with or without the boots. Alright, now for this third small key that's on the left side of Swamp Palace, remember this is the key that I said was kind of out of the way, and it's only worth considering this key if you are planning on doing the left side of Swamp Palace. This one's a little bit more complicated, so I have to do a little explaining. So if you're going to get this key, it turns out that the best way to get this key is actually to flood the water first, and it may seem like this key is now inaccessible, but what happens is you can do a trick called Diver Down. So you can lay a bomb here to hit this crystal switch, and what happens is you go into the door right as the bomb is exploding, and then you can do the Diver Down trick. So this trick will either use a Samaria block or alternatively a bomb with a specific setup, and that will allow you to kind of clip through this rail and jump and kind of walk in the wrong layer, which will allow you to get this key. And you'll see that when I walk into this room, the delayed bomb explosion from the bomb that I laid before will hit the crystal switch, which will allow me to get through the left side a little bit faster. So if you're going to get this key, this is going to be the fastest way to do it, as well as fill the water at the same time. Now, for the actual comparison, all 3 of these are without boots. I talked about this side where we're doing Diver Down in order getting the key. Now, if you're not getting the key and you're skipping it, it's not entirely obvious at first which method you should do. On the left, on the top here, the top left here, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to also do the Diver Down trick. We're going to lay the bomb, and we're going to do the same thing, except we're not going to walk up to the key pot, right? We're just going to leave it there, but we still need to go to this room so that the bomb will hit this crystal switch. Now on the bottom left, we're just going to walk around, and instead of bothering with diver down, we're just going to walk around after hitting the crystal switch with our sword. And if we look at the timing comparisons, you will end up seeing that this way is actually faster. So if you're skipping this key, you don't want to do the diver down trick. It is about a little bit less than a second faster, but it is faster even if you do a perfect Samaria diver down, at least by my timings. So anyways, without boots, you can see that this key will take around 3 or maybe 3.5 seconds to collect. And here is that same set of videos, only this time we will have the aid of the boots. And for all of these, I will note that it is important that when you're hitting these water levers, if you have a shield equipped, you want to kind of press A and kind of hug the wall like I'm doing in these 3 clips. That will actually help to make the cutscene faster because the game doesn't have to render your shield on the screen. So that will reduce the amount of frames that it takes for the cutscene. So you can see that it's the same comparison, but this time we have the boots. I will say there's actually a number of places where it seems like the boots would actually help you, but it doesn't. For example, walking through this door is faster than dashing, and then walking up these stairs is also faster than dashing to the stairs. So if you didn't know that, sometimes it can be faster to walk rather than dash. So in this case, this key will take about 4 seconds to get, so it's a little bit more of a difference. So let's recap what we just learned. We said that the first small key over here takes about 7.5 seconds to get. We said that the second small key in the main hub takes around 4 seconds to get. And the third small key, the one in left side swamp, will cost you around 3 seconds to get if you're doing left side. So by far, the slowest of these 3 keys to collect is this key that is above the Specky Clip room. So if you're going to be doing Specky Clip, you never want to get this key your first time through Swamp Palace. So if you're doing Specky Clip, just come in here, do not walk up this hallway, come up the stairs, and just do your Specky Clip, and then you can proceed forward without a small key. Now, after doing that, you're going to walk into this room, and you're always going to go ahead and get this small key from here. Okay? Now from here, you have 2 options. You can either decide to skip left side swamp, or you can decide to do left side swamp. If you're going to skip left side swamp, what you're going to do is you're just going to come here, you're going to hookshot over here to the back, and then you're going to use the small key here, and then you're good to go all the way to Argus, and you're done. If you're going to do left side swamp, then instead, you're going to come over here, and you're going to use your small key on this door. This will allow you access to this room, and then you can push the crystal switch, you can hit this water lever, and then you can proceed to do the diver down trick in order to get this small key underneath the pot that is now flooded. Okay, so this is going to be the fastest way when you're going through the Swamp Palace for the first time. There's actually a third scenario that I need to cover, which is if you decide that you want to skip left side swamp the first time that you go into Swamp Palace, you're going to take the main hub key and you're going to go straight to Argus. So you're going to use that key and this key door here, and you're going to go all the way to the boss. Once you beat the boss, you're going to wind up at the exit/entrance of Swamp Palace. And from there, you can elect to go back into Swamp Palace because you still want to check those checks in left side swamp. Now, if you know you're going to 100% do left side swamp regardless, it's better to do it on the first trip. It is going to be faster. But if you're looking for like one go mode item, it might be a good idea to check the back first and then do left side swamp if you're still missing an item. So in this case, if we're going to check left side swamp after Argus, eventually you're going to end up back at the Specky Clip room, and in this case, you do want to go in here and get this key now. So go ahead and grab this key, and then come back into this room. Make sure that you don't touch this key door, because you want to hold on to this key. So you're going to do your Specky Clip again, and then you'll end up in the main hub room, and you'll have a small key on hand so that you can use it to open this door. Because otherwise, left side swamp, if you don't have a small key to open this door, left side swamp becomes really slow. So use your small key that we just got in the room north of Specky Clip, so that you can hit this crystal switch, push this lever, and then watch a cutscene. And remember, there is a key underneath this pot that I'm staring at, but we don't need it anymore, right? We have saved a key, so we no longer need this key underneath this pot. And since we don't need that key, we're not going to do diver down here. Instead, we're just going to slash this switch with our sword, and then we're going to walk around, because we proved in our videos that this is faster than doing diver down, if we don't need the key. We're going to walk around here, and then we're going to go left, and this is when we are going to check those 2 left side swamp chests. That is going to be the fastest way if you're planning on doing left side swamp after defeating Argus. Now, because choosing whether to do left side swamp first or after Argus or not at all can be such a tricky decision, I have some additional timing videos to show you to be illustrative to help you make a more informed decision. So on the upper left here, we're going to measure the time it takes to do left side swamp while you're in the middle of routing through the dungeon. So this is left side swamp as soon as you can, which is going to be the fastest. On the bottom two videos, this is going to be doing left side swamp after you have defeated Argus. And I have two different videos because on the left side here, the bottom left, I'm going to do the version without Specky Clip. So you'll see that the water has been filled here because that's what you're going to have to do if you don't have access to Specky Clip. For example, if that is banned in your current settings. And on the right side, we are going to do the version where you are doing Specky Clip. So you're going to collect that key there that you skipped earlier, and you're going to do the Specky Clip here, which means you are going to fall behind compared to this route, but you are going to make that time back because you're going to have access to this key, which means that you do not have to do this circuitous route of collecting this key here and then walking all the way around and then walking all the way back. I'm going to speed up these videos a little bit because these are rather long checks. Again, you'll note that I'm hugging the wall here to make my shield sprite disappear. That is important to do while you're watching this cutscene, so try to do that whenever you can. And for all three of these videos, I do not have the access of boots. And you can see that if I'm doing left side swamp while I'm in the middle of the dungeon, I do have to do this walk back from left side swamp to the main hub of Swamp Palace. Whereas if I'm doing it after Argus, I can just mirror immediately after checking both of those left side swamp checks. But you can see here that doing left side swamp first before Argus is still going to be faster ultimately overall, and you can see that it is going to save you, it looks like about 18 seconds compared to doing it with the Specky Clip method after Argus, and the Specky Clip method is going to be an additional 11 seconds faster than the vanilla version with no Specky Clip if you're doing left side swamp second after Argus. And this is going to be the same version of that comparison, only this time in all three videos we have access to the boots, which is going to speed things up. This can also serve as a reference. I did try to find kind of the optimal timings for each room. Obviously, I didn't do perfectly, but I tried to find reasonably fast timings as I could by trying each room different ways using save states. With the boots, it turns out that the comparisons are going to boil down to roughly the same amount of time gained or loss in each scenario, but all of the times are going to work out to be roughly 10 seconds faster. So without the boots, for example, doing left side swamps first took about a minute and 48 seconds or something like that, 49 seconds. Versus with the boots, it's going to be 1 minute and 41 seconds. So you save, some 8 seconds there if you have the boots, so it makes it a little bit faster. And you can see that doing left side swamp first as opposed to second with the Specky Clip, you end up saving around 17 seconds overall, and the Specky Clip does save you about 10 seconds over the vanilla version if you have the boots. So hopefully all these timing videos and comparisons help you the next time that you are in Swamp Palace, regardless if you are trying to just make a choice on left side swamp, or if you're trying to figure out which keys you should collect when you're doing Specky Clip. All the answers should theoretically be in this video. Let me know if you have any questions, but otherwise hopefully that helps, and keep this in mind for your next run.